Imagine stepping outside your front door
Oh.
and being met with
Yeah.
100-mile-per-hour winds,
Oh, wow.
just whipping flames right towards your house.
Goodness.
I mean, it sounds like a movie,
Yeah.
but that's the reality
I-
for so many people in LA right now,
Yeah.
as these wildfires
Yeah.
are burning across the whole region.
It's terrifying.
It is. And today, we're going to take a deep dive into this whole crisis.
Yeah.
We're going to look at the immediate impact.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the role of climate change,
Yes.
the political
And
responses,
of course.
and what it all means for you.
Right.
We've got some great sources today.
Okay.
We've got some breaking news from the LA Times
Mm-hmm.
and the New York Times, and some more in-depth analysis
Yeah.
from Inside Climate News and Yale Climate Connections.
I'm ready.
And just to kick things off,
Okay.
did you know 2024 was officially the hottest year
Oh, wow.
on record globally?
Really?
It was. And there's this new study
Okay.
that shows it's not just about the rising temperatures, it's also causing this thing called weather whiplash.
Weather whiplash.
And this is basically making places like California
I see.
even more vulnerable to these fires.
Oh, that's scary.
It is a really scary situation.
Yeah, it is. And it really is a reminder of just how much climate change
Yeah.
is affecting everything right now.
Yeah. I think it's easy to forget sometimes until something like this happens. So let's start by just getting a sense of what's happening
Okay.
on the ground. The
Yeah.
LA Times has this really striking article
Oh, yeah.
called Paradise Lost Along Pacific Coast Highway.
I saw that one.
And it talks about these wildfires blazing along the coast,
Yeah.
which is not something you typically imagine.
Not at all.
When you think about California wildfires,
Right.
it really highlights just how unexpected and intense
Yeah.
these fires have been.
Yeah, it does.
And then you have the
Yeah.
New York Times with this article.
Okay.
U 2018, everything is burned down 2019.
I think I saw that headline.
And this article features a resident named Sheila Moravati.
Okay.
And thankfully, her home was spared from the fires.
Oh, good.
But she talks about just the utter devastation
Oh, wow.
in her neighborhood.
Yeah.
And she says,
Yeah.
we've never seen anything like this.
It's hard to even imagine.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is just a powerful firsthand account.
Yeah, and it underscores
Yeah.
the scale of loss that people are experiencing.
Yeah.
What's really striking to me is how these fires are
Yeah.
behaving so differently than in the past.
Yeah.
The intensity,
Mm-hmm.
the speed,
Yeah.
and the places they're hitting.
Right.
It's all very concerning to experts.
Yeah. And it's not even just the physical damage that we're talking about,
Yeah.
right? This article, where does resilience come from?
Oh, interesting.
It delves into that psychological impact
Yeah.
of these disasters
Yeah.
and the long road to recovery.
Mm.
And it talks about the importance of community
Mm.
in rebuilding.
Community is so important.
And it uses this term social capital,
Oh, yeah.
which basically means the strength of our connections.
Right. Our social network.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then it also goes on to talk about,
Mm-hmm.
the trauma,
Yeah.
the long-term mental health effects
Right.
that these events can have on people
Mm-hmm.
and communities.
In communities.
So it's not just about rebuilding homes.
Yeah.
It's about rebuilding lives.
Exactly. And as this other article, recovery will be tempered by hard decisions, and if we aren't careful, inequality points out
Yeah.
that the recovery process itself
Mm-hmm.
can actually worsen these inequalities
Yeah,
that already exist.
that's right.
The people with the fewest resources
Yeah.
are going to face even bigger hurdles in
Right.
rebuilding their lives
It's tough.
and their livelihoods.
Yeah. And it makes you wonder,
Yeah.
is the system even set up
It's a good question.
to support everyone equally
Yeah.
in times like these?
It really is a crucial question,
It is.
especially as we look at these long-term impacts.
Yeah. And speaking of long-term impacts,
Yeah.
we have to talk about the smoke
The smoke. Yeah.
from these fires.
Right.
Far from the fires, the deadly risks of smoke are intensifying.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
That's in the New York Times.
Mm-hmm.
And it emphasizes that even people far away
Right.
from these flames
Mm-hmm.
are dealing with serious health consequences
Yeah.
from all the smoke.
From the smoke.
And it even raises the issue of access
Mhm.
to things like air conditioning
Oh, wow.
as a form of protection,
Yeah.
which becomes a real equity issue
Yeah, that's true.
because not everyone has access to that.
Of course not.
Right.
It's a great point, and it's something that's backed up
Yeah.
by the findings in lower access to air conditioning may increase need for emergency care for wildfire smoke exposure.
Wow.
This study shows there's a direct correlation between lower access to air conditioning and the increase in emergency room visits.
Due to the smoke.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like these ripple effects
Yeah.
extend so far
Mm-hmm.
beyond the immediate area of the fire.
Right.
It's crazy.
It is. It's all connected.
Yeah, it really is.
It is.
All right, so we got to talk about climate change.
Yes, we do.
Obviously, the LA Times article, 2024 was the hottest year on record.
I saw that.
Just reminds us
Yeah.
that we're experiencing record-breaking temperatures
Yes.
globally,
Globally.
which is contributing to all these extreme weather events
Yeah,
that we're seeing.
that's right. And this article,
Yeah,
the California wildfires are the latest disaster supercharged by climate change,
yeah,
really makes that connection clear.
yeah, it does.
Scientists are saying there's a direct link
Uh-huh,
between rising global temperatures
yeah,
and these extreme weather events.
yeah,
It's not just speculation anymore.
Right.
It's the reality
right.
that we're living.
It is. And it's not just about things getting hotter either.
That's right.
A new study explores the role of climate change in worsening fires.
Okay.
Also from the New York Times,
Yeah.
talks about this
Yeah.
weather whiplash thing
Yeah.
that we were talking about
Yeah,
earlier.
right.
So basically, climate change
Yeah.
is causing these really dramatic swings
Wow.
between extreme weather events.
Okay.
So you go from like severe drought to intense rainfall.
Oh, wow.
And this study is highlighting
Right.
how these shifts
Yeah.
make ecosystems much more vulnerable to
Oh,
fires.
That makes sense.
It does.
Because everything's so out of balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got this immediate crisis
Mm-hmm.
with the fires raging.
Yeah.
And then at the same time,
Yeah.
this long-term threat of climate change,
Right.
that's only going to make things worse.
Exactly.
So I'm curious,
Yeah.
what are the political responses to all this?
Yeah. Good question.
What are our leaders doing?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot happening. Okay.
Politically, and it's really a mixed bag.
Okay.
President Biden is taking action
Okay.
to try to strengthen his environmental legacy.
Okay.
He's got plans to create new national monuments in California.
Oh, wow.
This is all detailed in Biden to create new national monuments in California's desert and far north
Okay.
from the LA Times.
So it seems like he's trying to showcase
Yeah.
a commitment to conservation.
Especially in the face of these climate disasters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But then on the other hand,
Yeah.
you've got this possibility
Right.
of the solar tax credits being rolled back
Oh, no.
under the incoming Trump administration.
This.
And NPR has this article,
Yeah.
people are rushing to install solar panels before Trump becomes
I
president.
saw that one.
And it really captures the anxiety
Yeah.
around this potential policy change.
It's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
It really highlights
Yeah.
that uncertainty in this political back and forth around climate policy.
That's right. There are these competing visions
Yeah.
of how to address this, and it's causing a lot of tension,
Yeah.
especially in a state like California that's been so affected by these fires.
Yeah, and even within California,
Right.
there's some controversy brewing.
Oh,
Governor Newsom has decided to suspend some environmental laws
really?
to try to speed up the rebuilding efforts
Let's see.
after the fires.
Okay.
This is according to Newsom suspends landmark environmental laws to ease rebuilding in wildfire zones
I see.
from the LA Times.
Okay.
And it's a tough situation
Yeah.
because you're trying to balance the need
Yeah.
to rebuild quickly
Right.
with protecting the environment.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah, it's a dilemma.
It is a dilemma.
It really is.
And then you have these articles
Oh, yeah.
like LA's progressive leadership fails again as crumbling infrastructure fuels crisis.
Yeah, I read that.
And Newsom orders investigation into dry fire hydrants that hampered firefighting in LA.
That's a problem.
And these articles, they point to the role of infrastructure and preparedness
Right.
in all this.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder,
Yeah.
are our cities even equipped
It's a good question.
to handle these challenges?
Yeah. Do we have the resources,
Yeah.
the infrastructure
Yeah.
to respond effectively?
These are questions we should all be asking.
We should.
Not just in California,
everywhere.
but everywhere.
It's a wake-up call.
It is.
Not all of us.
So where do we even go from here?
Yeah.
I mean, we've got this immediate crisis,
Yeah.
but this bigger long-term threat
Mm-hmm.
of climate change.
If it feels like a crossroads.
It really does.
Yeah,
We've got a lot to unpack.
we do.
We've only just begun to scratch the surface.
Yeah.
So stay with us for part 2
Okay.
of this deep dive.
I'm ready.
We're going to get into the economic and social fallout of these fires
Okay.
and explore some potential solutions.
Sounds good. So before the break,
Yeah.
we were talking about how these fires are a wake-up call,
Yeah, for sure.
both in terms of like the immediate crisis
Mm-hmm.
and this long-term threat of climate change.
Yeah.
And it seems like we're really only beginning to
Yeah.
grasp the economic consequences of all this.
Right. And this New York Times article,
Okay.
California wildfires threaten insurers already teetering from climate shocks.
Oh, yeah.
It paints a really kind of bleak picture.
Yeah, it does.
It talks about how insurance companies are pulling back from the state
Oh, wow.
because these fires are making it just way too risky.
And expensive to
Yeah.
insure homes
Right.
in fire-prone areas.
Exactly.
It really is a prime example
Yeah.
of how climate change is starting to mess with our economic systems.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. The
Yeah.
insurance industry is built on calculating risks,
Right.
but the risks are becoming so unpredictable
Yeah.
and so costly
Right.
because of these disasters
That's right.
that they're having to
Yeah.
completely rethink their models.
It's wild.
And this is just one industry.
Yeah.
One piece of the puzzle.
Yeah. You start thinking about tourism,
Oh, yeah.
real estate.
It's all connected.
And it's clear that the economic fallout of these fires
Yeah.
could be felt for years to come.
Yeah.
And then there's this article from the LA Times,
Okay.
U-2018. This is your Hurricane Katrina 2019, assessing the long road ahead for LA.
Oh, gosh.
And it's comparing the LA fires to Hurricane Katrina,
Right.
which really emphasizes
Yeah.
the scale of this challenge
Yeah.
and how long
Yeah.
and difficult the recovery process is going to be.
That's a sobering thought.
It really is.
It really emphasizes the need to think long-term
Yes.
about resilience,
It's-
not just immediate response.
Yeah.
We have to be prepared for the long haul.
That's right.
And it's not just about money either.
No.
These fires are really impacting people's lives
Yeah.
and their livelihoods.
Recovery will be tempered by hard decisions and, if we aren't careful, inequality.
Yeah.
Really drives that point home.
It argues that these rebuilding efforts
Yeah.
often don't address the inequalities
Right.
that already exist,
Yeah.
which ends up leaving the people who are already struggling even further behind.
It's a really important point.
It is.
So with all of this in mind,
Yeah.
where do we even begin to look for solutions? Are there any bright spots?
Well, I think there are always glimmers of hope,
Yeah.
even in these tough situations.
Okay.
And we see these acts of human kindness and resilience.
That's true.
And this New York Times article,
Yeah.
Pop-Up Donation Center provides relief for displaced Angelinos.
Oh, yeah.
It talks about this amazing
Okay.
community-run donation center
Wow.
that started really small
Okay.
with just 2 hot dog carts.
No way.
And it grew into this big operation,
Wow.
providing support to those who were affected
That's amazing.
by the fires.
It's inspiring to see people coming together
It is.
to help each other.
And on a policy level,
Yeah.
we have things like this Climate Solutions 2025 legislative agenda,
Okay. Yeah.
which proposes some concrete steps.
Okay. So what are some of the
Yeah.
key takeaways from this agenda?
Well, it's a pretty comprehensive plan.
Okay.
It tackles climate change from a lot of different angles.
Okay.
There are measures to reduce greenhouse gas emissions,
Okay.
invest in renewable energy, and build more resilient communities.
Okay.
And it really emphasizes equity,
Mhm.
making sure that these solutions actually benefit everyone,
Yeah.
not just a select few.
Right.
So it's a really promising roadmap.
It does sound promising.
It does.
But, political will is often the biggest obstacle
You're right.
to implementing these kinds of ambitious plans.
Yeah, that's true.
So what makes you hopeful that this agenda could really make a difference?
Well, you're right. Political will is key. But these fires
Yeah.
and all the climate disasters that we're seeing are making it really hard to ignore this issue.
Yeah.
I think there's a growing consensus
Uh-huh.
that we need to take action now.
Yeah. And it feels like
Yeah.
there's been a shift in public awareness.
Yes.
People are starting to connect the dots
Yeah.
between these events and climate change.
Exactly. And they're starting to demand action
Yes.
from their leaders.
It's not just about these top-down solutions, though, right?
That's right.
What role do individuals play in all of this?
Well, individuals have a huge role to play.
Yeah.
It starts with education,
Okay.
understanding the science and
Yeah.
how it's impacting our world.
Yeah.
And then it's about taking action,
Okay.
making changes in our own lives
Yeah.
to reduce our carbon footprint,
Okay.
supporting businesses that are committed to sustainability,
Yeah.
and advocating for policy changes.
So it sounds like a combination of individual and collective action
Yeah,
is what we really need
I think so.
to make a difference.
I think so too.
All right, well, in the final part of this deep dive,
Okay.
we're going to look at some specific examples
Okay.
and tangible steps
Sounds good.
that people can take to get involved.
I'm ready.
All right, so we've talked about the fires themselves,
Mm-hmm.
the role of climate change,
Yeah.
the political back and forth,
Right.
and that kind of looming economic fallout.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
But let's get practical. What can we actually do
Right.
to address this crisis?
Well, the good news is that
Okay.
we don't have to start from scratch.
Okay.
We have this Climate Solutions 2025 legislative agenda.
Right.
It lays out a pretty detailed roadmap
Okay.
with specific policy recommendations.
So let's break it down.
Okay.
What are some of the things in this agenda
All right.
that could really move the needle on this issue?
One key area is transitioning away from those fossil fuels
Okay.
and making a big investment in renewable energy sources.
Like solar and wind.
Exactly.
And I remember that article we talked about the rush to install solar panels.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like there's already a push in that direction.
There is.
So if we could make it easier
Right.
and more affordable for people to go solar,
Yeah.
that could have a big impact.
A huge impact.
What else is in this agenda?
Well, transportation is another big one.
Okay.
The agenda talks about electrifying our transportation system,
Okay.
promoting electric vehicles,
Mhm.
improving public transit,
Okay.
and investing in things like bike lanes.
So basically making it easier to get around
Exactly.
without relying on cars.
Yeah, imagine LA
Yeah.
with fewer cars,
Yeah.
cleaner air.
More walkable neighborhoods.
Right.
That sounds nice.
It does.
And I'm guessing reducing emissions from buildings
Oh, yeah.
is also a big part of this.
Absolutely.
Because buildings use a lot of energy.
They do. So the agenda focuses on stricter energy efficiency standards
Okay.
for new buildings.
And retrofitting old ones
Right.
to be more efficient.
Ex-
And switching to cleaner heating and cooling systems.
It's all about being smarter,
Okay.
about how we design and power our homes and cities.
But I know some people say that these solutions are too expensive
Yeah,
or that they'll hurt the economy.
right.
What do you say to that?
That's a common concern, but it's actually not true.
Okay.
There are a lot of studies that show that investing in clean energy
Mm-hmm.
actually creates jobs
Okay.
and helps the economy grow.
And I remember that New York Times article we talked about
Yeah.
how the shift to electric vehicles.
Mm-hmm. Is already happening,
Yeah.
no matter what politicians do.
So it's not just about the environment.
Right.
It's about the economy, too.
Exactly.
Okay, so all this is great,
Mm-hmm.
but it can still feel a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
Like, what can I as an individual actually do
Right.
to make a difference?
Well, you can start by reducing your own carbon footprint.
Okay.
Drive less.
Okay. Fly less.
Choose energy-efficient appliances.
Right.
Eat less meat.
Yeah. Support sustainable businesses.
All those little choices,
Mm-hmm.
they add up,
They do.
especially when we all do them.
Okay, cool.
And beyond your own choices,
Yeah.
you can get involved in advocacy.
Okay.
Support organizations that are working on this.
Mm-hmm.
Contact your elected officials.
Okay.
Let them know that this matters to you.
It's about making our voices heard.
Exactly.
So it's not just about these big systemic changes.
Right.
It's about what we do every day.
Exactly. I like that.
It's a combination of
Yeah.
individual and collective action.
So these fires are a reminder
Yeah.
of the challenges we're facing.
They are.
But they're also an opportunity.
To rethink how we do things
Yeah.
and build a better future.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
yeah.
the key takeaway
Yeah.
is that climate change is real.
It is.
It's happening now,
Yeah.
and it's affecting all of us.
But we can do something about it.
We
We
do.
have the knowledge.
Yeah.
The tools.
And the power to make a difference.
That's right.
So until next time,
Yeah.
stay curious,
Stay engaged.
stay engaged, and stay hopeful.
I like that. And thanks for listening.
Thanks for joining me.